Business Blueprint, simplifying your success.
Capital is king. Anybody ever heard that statement before? Capital is king? All right, yeah, okay, and don't we all feel bad because we don't have any? Or we don't have enough? Yeah. Well, after today, you'll never worry about that again. Here's why. First of all, if you're ever going to have enough capital, you have to keep the king's hands out of your pocket. Now, here in Australia, I'm told that you guys have an absolute bear tax service here. And they've done a really good job of intimidating everybody about if you don't do it their way, you're in big trouble. But rules. And they have to go by the rules. And what's really interesting about those rules is those rules have left room for an amazing amount of things that you can do to minimize or eliminate your taxes. And if there's any question in your mind about it, look at Google, look at all of these major companies who earn fortunes here in Australia and do not pay much anything in the way of taxes. Now, every entrepreneur has to learn to keep the government's hands out of their pocket. Why? Because that's the biggest single drain on your ability to accumulate capital. And if you don't accumulate capital, you cannot build your business if you're growing internally. You need to carry more inventory. You need to have a big facility. You need to hire more people. There's all kinds of things you need to do. If you don't have the cash, you can't. Well, the idea is your responsibility as an entrepreneur is to grow not only your business, but to grow the economy. You, as an entrepreneur, are the engine that drives commerce. And if capital is removed from your pocket, you're impeded in your ability to do it. And so, one of the things that we do, by the way, at National Diversified Funding Corporation is we work all over the world helping people to minimize and eliminate their taxes, and it's an essential part of the problem. Now, you notice this quote. You have to keep the king's hand out of your pocket. It came from a gentleman by the name of Aristotle Onassis. Who knows who he was? Okay, everybody know who he was? Married Jackie Kennedy, right? Everybody knows that? Okay. Jackie Kennedy was the epitome of refinement and elegance. Aristotle Onassis was crude. Brilliant in finance, but crude. And people who were alive during then, my generation of folks, always wondered how these two ever got together. But he was one of the wealthiest men in the world. He was a Greek shipping magnate worth billions. So that was what he attributed as part of his ability to make billions, was he learned how to keep the government's hand out of his pocket. No matter where he did it, no matter where he went, that's the first thing he looked at is, how do I keep my cash in my company? Now, he's also the guy that said this. And for those of you who can't read that, I'll read it to you. This is a guy who bought 5 tankers and used financial leverage, okay? He used financial leverage. And his quote was, 5 tankers, and the only time I put my hand in my pocket was to scratch my balls. Crude. But colorful. It really says something, okay? And the reason I wanted to share that quote with you is because later on we're going to be talking about financial leverage, and we're going to talk about how we not only buy 5 tankers without putting our hand in our pocket, we're going to talk about how we buy whole companies and not have to put our hand in our pocket. And lest it gets lost in the translation from Greek to English, if you have balls, you don't need cash. Balls are more important than money. And this is the one that kills me. They can even be more important than brains. And I'm serious about that. Business does not belong to the meek. The meek may inherit the earth, but they're not going to inherit your business. Okay, your business requires someone who has leadership ability, who takes chances, takes risks, and works hard to make things happen. And history favors the bold. So capital is king. Keep the government's hand out of your pocket, accumulate your capital, use it to build your business, and in turn, you'll be building the economy stronger than anything the government would do with your money.
Business Blueprint. To access more great content, visit businessblueprint.com.